Hi everyone, this is Janet Roble with Keller Williams in Spokane, Washington. And today in this video series, I would like to talk to you about downsizing. I have some clients lately who are thinking about moving. Their home is too big, kids have left the nest, maybe they don't want to do stairs anymore, so they are ready to move on, and I've got some great tips for you about the process and how to make it smooth for you. Tip number one, we're going to get a conservative net price for your home. So your net is the amount of money that you take away from the closing table after all of the closing costs are paid. Closing costs may include commissions, excise tax, title fees, escrow fees, that sort of thing. So that is the amount of money that you get to bring to your new home purchase. And in order to figure out what that amount might be, we need to look at comparable sales. Comparable sales are homes that have sold in your neighborhood, ideally within about a mile or so, and ideally also within the selling season, for instance, the last 3 months of spring or something like that. If we have to go further out or further back in time, we will do that. In a robust seller's market, hopefully there are enough comps that this will be a fairly easy task to find a home that is similar to yours that is sold recently. The next thing to remember is that even in a robust seller's market, the buyers ultimately tell us what the home is worth. If a home is overpriced, it will probably sit on the market a little bit longer and you may see lower offers. If you price it a little under what we think the market value is, you may get an escalation of multiple offers and sell well over the asking price. So based on the conservative price range that we think your home will sell in, minus any selling costs and closing costs and paying off your mortgage if there's any mortgage debt or a second mortgage, anything like that, we'll be able to have a pretty good estimate of how much money that you can take to purchase that new home. Tip number two, speak with your financial advisor to figure out how much home you can afford. We're going to take that bucket of equity and apply it to the next home purchase, and with that, and given what your retirement income looks like, you'll want to figure out what your payment should be as you move forward. Should you take out a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage? And does it make sense to do a mortgage at all? Should you pay cash for a home? If you have the cash, should you do that, or should you stash the cash away in an investment? These are all great questions for your financial advisor. Step 3 in our series of downsizing is talk to a lender. If you've decided that a mortgage is the way to go, you can either call the bank where you typically bank or talk to a mortgage broker. There are all kinds of different programs based on what kind of purchase you're going to make. Certain loans don't work for certain kinds of properties. For instance, if you were downsizing to a manufactured home, there are parameters around manufactured homes that you're going to want to know about before you start to go shopping for a home. Or if you're doing new construction, you probably want to talk to a traditional bank rather than a mortgage lender. They are more likely to have a program for an all-in-one construction loan. So that is tip number 3 for today. Speak with your lender. And if you don't have a lender, talk to your realtor. They probably have worked with several and they know a few good ones who can help you get the right program to fit your needs. Tip 4, think about your retirement and what your dreams are, what you plan to do, what you've always wanted to do. Are you going to do a lot of traveling? Are you going to winter somewhere warm? If so, you might want to live in a condo or like a townhome in a gated community where you can just walk away and feel a little more secure with leaving your home for an extended period. If you're considering a condo or, for instance, an over 55 community, you'll really want to look at their homeowner association covenants and think about, do you plan to run a business out of your home at all in retirement, have a new career, or continue, for instance, if you're a music teacher and you're going to teach music lessons, some communities don't allow that kind of traffic in the neighborhood. So you'll want to check that out really carefully and make sure that there's enough funds in the association bank account to cover any possible repairs. What's your lifestyle? Do you enjoy golfing? Do you want access to walking trails or a community center or a pool? So you might want to look at a development or a community that has those things to offer or they're nearby. Also, do you need access to a nearby medical center? You might not want to be too far out of town if that's the case. So these are all questions that you want to ask when you're considering where you're going to make your next move. Step 5 is get your home ready for the market. You are moving, so start packing. You can get rid of some knickknacks and personal items, personal photos and things like that that may make it a little more difficult for a buyer to picture themselves in your home. Remember, you're trying to make it not be your home anymore, so we want to make it as appealing to the every buyer as you possibly can. You might want to bring in a home stager to help you rearrange furniture. If you're going to get rid of some pieces, maybe they can help you decide what is staying and what you want to go ahead and donate or maybe sell on Craigslist, whatever you plan to do, and get that house ready to go. You might need to do a little touch-up painting, minor repairs, things like that. So that is step 5, getting your home ready for the market. Talk to your realtor and they will be happy to give you great tips on what to do and how to get it done. Number 6 is come up with a timeline. When do you need to move? When do you hope to move? When do you want to hand over the keys to that new owner? In a really robust market, it can be tricky to time that sale and purchase at the same time, especially if you're competing with multiple offers on your purchase. So there are a few options. Option 1 is be a contingent buyer. That means that your offer on the next home is contingent on the sale or the close of your current home. It can be a little trickier to get a seller to accept an offer with a contingency like that when they have other options, but it's not impossible. You just have to write the best offer you possibly can and try to add other terms that will make it more pleasing to the seller that you're trying to secure that next home. So that might be price, but it's not always price. Sometimes it can be the closing date. Sometimes they want a little window of time to stay in their home because maybe they're upsizing and they're trying to get into something else and they're having the same trouble you are. So you might want to have your realtor ask the other agent if there are any terms that might make it a little bit more attractive for the seller to accept your offer. Another option is to just go on the market and try to arrange and negotiate a rent back from the new buyers of your home to stay in the home after closing. Now this can be tricky because as soon as you close on the home, you become a tenant and the new owner becomes the landlord. But it can be one way to bridge that little time between when you sell your home and purchase your next one. Option 3 is to just go ahead and sell your home and find a short-term rental like an Airbnb or VRBO, something like that, where you could just stay for a little while you're securing that next home purchase. Or maybe you have some great relatives who wouldn't mind you staying with them for a few days, weeks, or months. Who knows? I won't get too far into that, but that's up to you. If you can find some relatives you can be with for that period of time, more power to you. Also, you are going to have to move twice in that occasion. It's not the best, it's not the funnest, nobody wants to do that, but you could get a storage unit and put a lot of your belongings in the storage unit and then just find a short-term rental while you are making that next purchase. One advantage of this is that you'll have more leverage in a multiple offer situation without a home sale contingency or a home close contingency. If you can just go ahead and close on the seller's timeline, then that gives you an advantage when making that next offer. Also, if it saves you from making a hasty purchase decision, in the long term, it'll save you time, heartache, and money. Option 4, when you're trying to simultaneously buy and sell when you're downsizing, is to try to find some kind of program like a bridge loan. Now, these have kind of gone away in the recent years, but they may come back. The financial landscape is always changing, and there are some programs that you might find online that will help you do that. Just be careful. They can be subject to higher interest rates and fees. So look very carefully, read all the fine print, and check that out if you want to consider that as an option for your next purchase. Referring back to our financial advisor tip, maybe you can borrow money against your 401k or your retirement account to pay cash while you're trying to secure a second mortgage. That is, if you cannot afford or qualify to have two mortgages at the same time, it may be an option to help you make a purchase without a contingency of a home sale. So I hope you enjoyed these 6 tips on downsizing your home. I hope you found it helpful. Please feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. Email, text, or call me. I'd love to chat with you. If you found it helpful and you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and follow my YouTube channel for more videos on buying and selling real estate in Spokane, Washington. I'm Janet Roble with Keller Williams, and I'll see you next time.